Hey buddies, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today is going to be another episode of my Shop My Stash series. So what I'm doing is I want to no-buy this entire year, 2019, and I wanted to get through my collection and not get stuck in a rut using the same thing every single week. So about every other week or so, maybe every 3 weeks, I do these videos where I pick new makeup to use for the next couple weeks. So let's get started talking about what I used this past 2 weeks and what I thought about it. So one of my goals was to finish up the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation and the Wet n Wild Illuminati Concealer. I finished both of those. They were my empties recently, so I am moving on to my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And this one is almost empty too. There's maybe 2 or 3 more uses in it. It was all down at the very bottom where I couldn't reach it with a little stick thing. So I've just been laying it on like flat like this, so maybe it'll collect around this way and I can get it onto the little applicator thing, because this doesn't have a pump. It has this like spatula thing. So if I can use that up, and then I have this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Setting Spray. It's maybe halfway done. I don't like this. I cannot use it over top of my foundation, but what I do with it is I use it first thing before I even put primer on, because it helps to control oil throughout the day, because it has that like powdery kind of consistency. You can get the same effect by putting on primer and then powder, but I just wanted to get this used up and out of my collection because I don't quite like it. The reason why I don't like it over makeup is because it leaves like white spots, and then it also kind of clings to my like peach fuzz and it makes it stand out, so it's kind of weird. But I talk about that now. I'm talking about the stuff that I used last month. Moving on. So for the eyeshadow palette that I used last time was my Z palette. So most of these are ColourPop with the exception of this blue one and these 2 down here. Those are Makeup Geek. And mostly I used this shade from ColourPop, which is Made to Last. And then I went back and forth between these, not the blue, but the other shimmers there. And like today I am wearing this Snake Eyes shade. And then I used this highlight for my inner corner, and yeah, that's about all I've been using. I needed to get into these colorful shades, I just didn't have time. So when I get this one next time around, I will use the colorful ones. Lipsticks that I used last time, this is the e.l.f. Day to Night Lipstick Duo. There's 2 sides. There's like a lighter nude shade and then a darker on the other side. I really like these mixed together. It's a pretty good formula for e.l.f. and their lipsticks used to be not so great, but this is pretty good. And yeah, I would definitely keep this. It'll probably be really easy to use up because they're so tiny. And then I had the Ofra liquid lipstick in Bel Air, which is what I'm wearing today. Ofra liquid lipsticks are okay, not my favorite, but I need to find a new favorite. Actually, ColourPop is pretty good, but this one kind of is like peeling and cracking just a little bit, not so much where it's like annoying and I feel like I have to take it off, but it's like slightly noticeable. The last thing from last time was the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in Androgyny. I did some videos recently with this on, and it's okay. It's not my favorite shade of the ones that I had from Jeffree Star. But yeah, I'll continue using this because these are pretty easy to use up. And then for the last several months, actually, I've been using this Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. And I've had a pretty big pan on it. I just wanted to change to a different bronzer, so that's why I'm going to mention it. And then the Milani Luminoso blush. This is the oldest blush in my collection. It is pretty old, like 5 years old, but it's still good. I've used it today and for the past week or so. I just want to use something else, and then for a little bit, like maybe this round, and then I will go back to this so I can try to finish it. Which I'm not even close to finishing it, but you know. Then next month, like I meant, or this coming week, 2 weeks, like I mentioned, I'm going to use that Wet n Wild foundation and the Matte Finish Setting Spray. And then if I finish up that foundation, I am not sure yet which foundation that I want to move on to. Maybe I'll just kind of cycle through them, like one different one every day, just to see which one I want to try to work on next. Just because all of them, the Kat Von D one that I used up was my oldest one, and then the rest of them I got last year, so they're not that old, so I don't have to worry about trying to use them up or anything. So I'll just cycle through and see maybe which one's my least favorite, and then work on that, and then work my way up to my favorite one. And then also I wanted to, this is the last thing that I have from Tarte. It's the, it's called Smooth Operator powder. That there's like barely anything left in there. And I just need to use that up. I've been using it on my under eyes and it's almost gone. Then I have quite a few other powders, like loose powders that I can use for that. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I've had this forever and I just hardly ever use it, so I wanted to try it out again, see if I like it. It wasn't my favorite it's been a while since I've used it, but I'll try to get a little more use out of it, I guess. It still smells good, so I don't think it's bad. And for blush, I'm going to use this cream blush from Juice Beauty, and this is in the shade Orange Blossom. And then for highlighter, I'm going to switch it up and use a liquid highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild Hello Halo highlighter in the shade Halo Goodbye. I have this in another shade too. It's that white duochrome. I think it's called Halographic. But I like this one because I think this would go well. This is more of a peach. It will go with that blush a little better than the other one would because it's like a pink flash. And then for eyeshadow palettes, I'm back to the e.l.f. Mad for Matte, which this is not my favorite, but it's got some staple colors in there. Like they're all, half of the palette is all the same color, at least on my eyes. And this is the oldest eyeshadow palette that I have. It's from 2016, and the rest of them I got, I think, in 2018. And then I have the e.l.f. Christian Siriano palette. This is actually one of my favorite palettes, which coincidentally they're both from e.l.f. And this one is really good quality. I'm not disappointed by any of these shades whatsoever. And then for lipsticks for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to use the Ofra liquid lipstick in the shade Staten Island. And this was the last liquid lipstick that I have to rotate, so I'll be able to go back to some of my favorites here pretty soon. So there is Staten Island by Ofra. It's like a dark purpley gray, which is one of my favorite shades. And then I have this lipstick from Axiology called Bliss. Very different than the last one. So there's that there. And the last thing I have is this Juice Beauty lipstick, Luminous Lip Crayon in the shade Venice. Oh shoot, this is the one that I broke. Ugh. I don't know what to do with it. It's one of these I had broken and I forgot about it until I opened this just now. Maybe I can very carefully swatch it. It appears to have melted back together. I don't know how. So there is Venice. Pretty good assortment of colors, I think. So I'm excited to give those a try and get into more cream products now that it is summertime, which I know they kind of melt off, but I don't know. I feel like I'm the opposite of everybody else because everybody else wants to use like dewy stuff in the winter, but I feel like dewy stuff kind of accentuates my dry patches more than matte somehow. I don't know, but I'm going to try dewy stuff in the summer, but it does melt off, so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So that was it for this video. Let me know what you think. Give it a thumbs up if you like these Start My Stash videos, and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.